Good day, everyone. In the news now is an article in Business Insider that I think a lot of people have been waiting for, and specifically what would happen when this takes place. And this is with regards to the Pfizer vaccine that has been fully approved by the FDA in the US. And subsequently, that'll, of course, then have a ripple effect where many other health bodies in countries will probably give full approval to this vaccine to be used. So it won't be under emergency use anymore, which obviously gives a lot more freedom for that vaccine to be tested, as it has been on millions of people around the world, something that is not normal. So in this headline, it says the FDA just fully approved Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine in a move that could lead to more vaccinations. Well, this is what they are hoping for sure. And I'm not going to cover this entire article. The main thing that I take from this article is that they believe that, for instance, 30% of the people in the US that were hesitant to taking the vaccine said that they would take it if it fully received approval. Now, this is still to be seen. What will actually happen because this Pfizer BioNTech vaccine has now received full approval by the FDA, and some of the others have said, the Johnson & Johnson, that they should receive full approval within August. Now, what this means is that they are saying here that herd immunity will be achieved sooner, and it also speaks that it'll be easier now for companies to mandate the vaccine. And this is what I want to focus on. So I'm just going to go through the first part of this article and then get to the mandating part and why this vaccine receiving full approval will make it easier for companies to mandate the use of the vaccine. Now, that doesn't make it compulsory, but what it does mean is that they can say, if you want to keep your job, then you need to take the vaccine, and if not, there could be repercussions, and I don't want to go into the detail of that now. The FDA has fully approved Pfizer BioNTech coronavirus vaccine. The 2-dose shot is now the first and only COVID-19 vaccine to get full approval. The shot was previously okayed under emergency use authorization, a more flexible regulatory standard, and many people with good reason was extremely concerned about the fact that all of these COVID-19 vaccines around the world were actually administered under emergency use, and many people were unhappy with that and obviously scared of that. Now, there might be many people, now that it's received full approval, that'll go ahead and get vaccinated. And like I said, I'm not going to get into the details of that now. My focus with this article is the deductions that are being made now, especially with regards to mandating vaccines. The US Food and Drug Administration issued the first full approval Monday for a coronavirus vaccine, marking a pandemic milestone. Pfizer was approved for emergency use in South Africa in March of 2021. Emergency use, remember? South Africa has ordered more than 30 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine, which will be used to achieve a 38% of government's herd immunity target. So the government has very specific targets with regards to herd immunity, and this is why all the areas where the vaccines were being administered, when they were empty, the government was panicking. Many people were panicking because people weren't actually coming to be vaccinated. And when they open up to the down to the age of 18, a lot more people streamed in for those vaccinations. The 2-dose jab developed by the New York pharmaceutical giant Pfizer and the German BioNTech is now the first and only fully approved COVID-19 vaccine in the United States. It will be marketed under the brand name Comirnaty, which I find interesting. Public health officials, virologists, and legal experts anticipate that full approval could help persuade more hesitant people to get vaccinated, embolden more organizations to require immunization, and allow vaccine developers to market their shot to the public. Okay? So here the focus, the main idea is to embolden more organizations to require immunization. It goes a step further later. Coronavirus vaccines developed by Moderna and Johnson & Johnson are still covered by emergency use authorization, which means it's still part of an experiment, a more flexible regulatory standard that the FDA uses in times of crisis. Moderna said it expects to finish its application for full approval with the FDA in August. The full approval covers people 16 years and older getting Pfizer's vaccine. It will remain available to 12 and 15-year-olds under the emergency use authorization only. And it's interesting that there is a separation there. Overall, about 171 million Americans have been fully vaccinated, with more than half receiving the Pfizer vaccine. Top US health officials are already planning booster doses, where people would be offered a third shot 8 months after completing their initial vaccination. Approval could address vaccine hesitant talking points and spur more mandates. You see where the focus is. Combating vaccine hesitancy and spurring more mandates. Now, a mandate doesn't make something compulsory, but it means that you mandate something, and if someone doesn't comply, then there's consequences. The shift to full approval could persuade some vaccine hesitant people in the US to get the shot. A common talking point among skeptics of the COVID-19 shots has been that they're not fully approved and are technically experimental medicines under emergency OKs. Pfizer's vaccine winning standard approval directly addresses that concern. A survey of 1,888 adults conducted in June by the Kaiser Family Foundation found that about 30% of the unvaccinated respondents said they were more likely to get the shots if they received full approval, which is now the case with the Pfizer vaccine. Additionally, full approval could embolden more organizations, and this is the reason for the video, and groups to institute vaccine mandates. Organizations and groups to institute vaccine mandates. As the rate of new cases surged in recent weeks in the US, many businesses have already started to require the vaccine for their workers. Legal experts previously told Insider that certain organizations may feel more comfortable implementing mandates for a vaccine that's fully approved. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's leading infectious disease expert, told USA Today in August that full approval would lead to a flood of vaccine mandates in the US. There you have it. So this is the United States, and from there it will spiral out to the rest of the world. You will find a link to this article in the description below this video, so please go and read the rest of the article there. I have covered now what is most important to me, and that is anything relating to freedom and freedom of choice. And around the world, freedom to make decisions are under attack on various fronts, and I hope that in South Africa, that the president of the country will stick to his original promise to the people of South Africa that nothing will be made compulsory, that people will have the freedom to choose. Mandating something is a very different thing, and this is why I told people that you need to become a self-reliant as fast as you can, so that you have options in future, so you can make your own choices. And I certainly will make my own choices and arrange my life and my family's life so that I'm able to make those choices. Because if you do not, mandating certain things will make it impossible for you to make certain choices unless you've made it possible to make that choice. And certainly some people that have made a choice between their job and taking this is absolutely your decision to make. But you need to decide whether that decision can be made and whether you have prepared yourself to make that decision. And I've been speaking about this since the beginning of last year. Any self-reliant person has options and therefore has more freedom. So the FDA's actions would also allow Pfizer and BioNTech to begin advertising its vaccine directly to customers, which means they can advertise it now as a product that's been approved, and people can just get it wherever and use it if they so see fit. So please go and read the rest of the article. To me, at the end of the day, people need to be aware what is happening worldwide with regards to freedom and the conditions that are being implemented now. That makes it difficult for people that want choices to have those choices and still exist in the society that we're living in the financial system that we're living in. And therefore, we need to make changes. And now, with this news that's come out, I will transition this channel to a new phase, a very important new phase, where the focus is on self-reliance. This is vital that the focus shifts to self-reliance. We are now at a point where self-reliance becomes key for us to implement a plan to be as free as possible in South Africa. Thank you very much for watching. Till the next video.